Hello everybody, Ben608 here. This is a continuation of my streaming of Unconditional Surrender, a solo run. Kind of showing you how the CU meta works. It stands for Cripple the UK, Collapse the USSR. I've done a little better than I have in other games as the UK. I've delayed the Germans for quite a while in the Middle East. Quick commercial break here. If you like what you're seeing, hit the thumbs up button. It helps the algorithms in YouTube to put this up there when people are searching for Unconditional Surrender videos. If you really like what you're seeing, go ahead and subscribe. Hit the notify button, and you'll be notified whenever I'm uploading another video or I'm scheduling a stream, so you can keep up with what I'm doing. So that takes care of that. The streams will start to slow down some. It's probably going to have to fall back to maybe once a week, maybe twice. I just started a new position, and I'm going through a whole lot of like online training and stuff, so I don't know what my real schedule will be, so I can't really determine when I'll be able to stream next, other than probably can schedule it for like a Saturday morning or something ahead of time. Okay, so we were at there's my mouse. It keeps wandering away. We were starting March 1941. I thought seriously about declaring war on the Netherlands to try and get an extra pro marker in the cup for the Germans, and then I looked, and it's like, there's no minors that I really want. Iraq is on my side. I've got Turkey, I've got Romania, I've got Yugoslavia. So I really don't want a pro marker in the cup. If anything, I'd like to see what is it? Let's see, I need to go down here. Where's the Soviets? Come on. See, the Soviets have all but Karelia. So if anything, I'd like to see Karelia go over to the Russians so that I could activate them, and stretch the Russian line. That's my goal usually. Okay. So we're not going to declare war. I don't see any point to starting up more wars when I'm getting ready to go into Russia. Now, Turkey has 3 points. It's going to need to start moving things back towards the Russian border. And I know I have to move this garrison unit down in around the Suez so I can capture some cities. And then I've got 3 guys that are like nowhere near being anywhere. So as the Germans, I'm going to go ahead and give one to Turkey. And then as the Italians, yeah, they've got fleets and convoys, and probably going to remove their airplane. Because if they remove it in March, they can build it at the end of April, like up here in Trieste. And then, excuse me, in May they can probably bring down. Yeah, I made a huge mistake last turn, but I did not. I was planning on taking off both airplanes, and I checked a little box that said skip that phase. So now I'm kind of hamstrung with the Germans. The aircraft can't be used this turn, and I have to put them in supply to be able to bring them down sorties. The German one I can probably do because I can fly through Turkey and into Romania. So I probably will leave the German one there, but I'm going to remove the Italian one. So hopefully I will remember not to check that little box when I'm going there. Also need to probably get this armored unit. So this is a quandary that I'm in with the Germans. Because the British are sitting over here, and I can't move Turks over here to help the Iraqis, I have to move a German. Is it enough to just send a German infantry down here? Because at the end of this turn, he's probably going to build the WDF in Western Indian Ocean, and at the end of the next turn, it will be sitting in Kuwait at full strength, most likely. This turn, I will get this infantry unit across onto the rail line. Next turn, I can have him rail down adjacent to Basra, and then the following turn, I can swap out the God, excuse me. I can swap out the Iraqi and put the German. Try and get the German in there, but then that's like May or June when I really want to be going into Russia. So I'm in a quandary here on how to do this. Normally, I just conquer Iraq. This time, I went ahead and took it as an ally, and it's much more logistically nightmarish than if you just conquer it and just have the Turks guard all this. So hopefully, we'll drive the British economy down quickly. Since I'm not going to be doing the Italian Air Force, I don't think I need to give up a point to the Italians. Yugoslavs, I think they're pretty much in position. Don't think I'm going to move much in the way of the Romanians. And of course the Iraqis don't need, they only have one unit to mess with, and if it gets killed, it disappears because it's a garrison unit. So that's all we need to do for that. And we go in here, and British are down to 10. So that's part of the whole shebang here, is that the British are down to, they have 8 factories, less 2, plus 3 for the trade. They're going to get a Lend-Lease here pretty soon. Oh, when do they get their Lend-Lease? Let's go check it. Checking the turn track. Lend-Lease. When does their Lend-Lease is going to come in May. So in 2 turns, they're going to get another factory. So my ultimate goal is to try and make sure that I have, so I'm +5 to their 0 right now. So I could save the submarine for the future. And just take my chances at +5, +6. But he's, I really can't give him any extra production points. So I think I'm going to be crazy. I'm going to go ahead and go for it and try and get him up to 7 lost factories right now. Okay. And I did. So his factories now are up to, his lost factories are up to 7. And the reason why I did that is because if you go down here in the Middle East, where I'm going to be moving shortly, this Turk can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, taking Cairo, which is his 8th factory. So he'll be down to 7 factories, and he has 7 lost factories, which means he's going to be living on 6 production points next turn. So that's something that the British have to think about. Plus, he's likely to lose the BEF this turn to isolation because of that. So that's what that is about. Strategic movement. I really think what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab one of these Turks. Since I don't have a German that I can just send over here to Iraq this turn, I'm going to send one of these Turks up here. And then I can move the rest of them. I need to move the, these 2 regular armies need to move up that way as well. This garrison can stay down here. Okay. The West, if I had the ability to do it, I would. Like if I was on a rail line here, I would like rail into Suez and hope that I hold so I can remove myself next turn, but it's not likely to happen, so I'm probably just going to lose the BEF. So I don't see a rail move for the British. I mean, I could play around in England if I really wanted to, but I don't see any point to it. I don't have any real moves. I've got to rebuild some people. So, there's a bunch of losses I took here. Defending Jerusalem in the and Alexandria and stuff. So no strategic movement there. The Soviets, do I have shenanigans? I don't have any shenanigans right now. The Soviets at the end of March will be probably withdrawing, is my thought. I mean, there's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, going to be 11, going to be 12 infantry, going to be 1, 2. In April, he'll rail over the armored unit probably, April or May. 3, and if he gets the armored unit out of there, 4 armored units, 12 infantry. He'll get his airplane up here, so he'll probably have 3 aircraft. Might even have a partial Italian aircraft. It's gonna look rather overwhelming, I think, to the Russian army. I've seen Russians, try to hold here. The Germans can set this up. If you don't run away with the Russians, you tend to lose 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I have killed as many as 12 armies that sit on the front line. I've killed as little as 8 or 7 with a couple surrounded, which means I get them the next turn. So I think the limit, the smallest amount I've ever gotten is like 7 if you defend forward. There's no real defense trying to defend forward. You just get chomped on. The quality of the German ground troops way outweighs your infantry with a couple tanks. You'll stop a couple of attacks, and then the rest of the army will just keep swarming you at +2 to 0 or +1 to 0. They will get their retreats. They will finally surround somebody, and then they will eliminate them. And they just keep on doing that over and over and over again. So it's come to my belief that you can't really do a forward defense. It just doesn't really work. You do need to leave some people out here to slow them down, make them spend at least a couple of units to try and clear the way. But you really want to be trying to defend the Duna and the Dnieper in the first fair weather turn. And that's the real trick, is do you take a chance in May? Because May is 1/3 chance, I think. Thinking way ahead here. Yeah, May is a 1 or a 2 for fair in the cold zone, so it's a 1/3 chance. You can take the chance and stay there through May and then run away in the end of May. But if they get their fair weather in May, they will just chop up your army and be able to literally run across Russia. You can't really stop them at that point. You got to start building your army back along, Leningrad, Rizhev, back here, because 1 or 2 army units sitting out here is just going to be isolated and killed. There's no point to it. So you tend to have to back up in a big hurry. Make the Germans waste at least 1 turn just getting up to you. If they end up with 4 or 5, if they end up with 5 fair weather turns, yeah, they're probably going to crush you in 42. I've done it with 3 fair weather turns. So it can be done with even less. So I'm not really seeing any strategic move for the Russians at this point. So we're just going to let that go. And then we're into operations. So let's go down here. Do the simple stuff first. First we want to get these Turks marching. Got to get them up towards home to stop the Russian onslaught when it comes in May or June, whenever the Germans decide to go in. This German infantry needs to go here. And the reason why I stopped there is because it's 1, 2, and then I can go through the rail out through Bulgaria and stay in supply. And then next turn, or the turn after, I probably will rail this guy down in April, and then in May I will have to rail the other armored unit, which means I'm probably not going to start my offensive until June, even if I get fair weather in May. I don't know. I'll have to think about it. Because that armored unit needs to come home, needs to get over to the east. See, this is March 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, he's got to get there by rail. The reason why he's still sitting here is because between this infantry and that guy there, and a very low sortie, I am basically pinning these two garrison units and the home fleet. They're going to stay here to try and deny me any kind of invasion. It's almost a requirement. You take those things off gallivanting with only one air unit sitting in Britain, the Germans can fly their aircraft back fast enough that they can actually launch a declare a war on the Soviets, but still launch a 41 Sea Lion and give you holy heck. So trying to avoid that, I'm gonna, when I build this aircraft, it's going to be built here in England. I am going to try. I've got 10 points, and if you look, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And since I know I'm only going to have 6 points next turn, I am going to go ahead and build like all of this so that it's out on the board. Because I'm only going to have 6 points next turn, and then the turn after I will go back up to 8. And that's going to limit most of what the British can do. Because with 6 points, it's like I can move a guy and flip him, and that's it. I'm done. That's 4 points. And then I also have to be able to supply people. So it's tricky for the British. Okay. I did most of my Turks. I'm gonna move this Turk. Well, I think first off we're gonna go here. Okay, and I'm gonna put that there because I know I'm gonna build something there. And then I'm gonna go ahead and take the factory. And I'm going to stop there. And the reason why I do that is because he is now isolated. He does have a tanks marker up here. He does have a tanks marker if he wants to use it, which he probably will. I have a tanks marker with the Italians, so I can be +4 to +3. So I think that's how we start. So he will go attack here. I'll throw our tank. He'll throw his tank. And I got stopped. But that does make it easier for this guy to do his thing. So he can go. I can attack him 3 times from here. So I'm going to forego running into Port Said at the moment. Because I really want to make sure I kill this guy. So I'm a +5 to his +1. We don't have anything to add. He's retreated, so we attack him again. And then he's gone. Now I'm not going to bother to take the hex. What do I have? I have 3 movement points left. So I can't quite get to Port Said. So I'll have to do that next turn. Okay, so I'm just going to leave this Panzer here. Okay, and since there's no British to intervene on me, I think I'm going to move this. Oh boy, if I move it over there, then he will bring Force H across. I don't have any way to stop it. So not that one. Do need to keep a couple guys in supply. So, not him. Where's the convoy? Do this all as one move, so since I have to move them both anyway. Click on that, confirm the escort. Here. What we're doing is we're setting up for next turn to be able to pick this guy up. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I can drop him in Bulgaria next turn in Varna. So that's one sortie to get there, and then it'll be one sortie to get back here into Alexandria to do supply. I'm going to remove this airplane, so I'm going to supply this infantry and probably this infantry. And then next turn, this infantry will move into Suez. This infantry that's here will probably start moving down to get close to Suez. This thing will take Port Said, just so that I have all the ports taken care of. The British don't really have anything to bring here into Port Said. They can, but I don't think it would be wise. It would just die anyway. So I think that's that. We got to do some shenanigan moves up here. Slowly but surely marching down, trying to get to Trondheim. We still have points to spend. This armored unit is going to go in here. There we go. 4, 5, 6, 7. So we're going to move the 2nd Infantry to here. Move the 7th Infantry to here. Oh, wait. Well, we know we're going to move these airplanes anyway, so might as well just move them now. I still have the points to realign them. And this one will go probably here. And then I think that covers most of the, this infantry. So I have a couple of armored units coming down here, so I want to put this guy, for now I want to put him there. Or no, maybe I don't. No. I think what we're going to do is we're going to put, oh, come on. I'm going to put a Romanian there. And I'm going to put the German infantry here. Right? And if I get 2 armored units down here coming in from the, let's see, Varnets, 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we actually want that infantry unit to be there, I think. Okay. And I've got 18 left, so I have plenty of points left to do anything I would like. See, I've got some. Yugoslavs. There's really nothing to really do with Yugoslavs. They're sitting on rail lines. I guess since I have the points to spend, I'll just go garrison that capital. Just for grins, because I got nothing else to do with their points. And then over here, we've got our airplane here and our airplane here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5. So if he comes in the war, then he can go around the corner in Italy, but he can't get through the west straight on when his bombers come in. Okay, so that's the way we have to do it. And I think that's going to be it for the Axis. So we're going to say we're done. How did I take him down 3 points? What did I take? Oh, I took Suez and Cairo. I will take 1 more point from him for Port Said, so he will be down to 12 willpower for the British until he starts taking back some of his cities. Okay. So I think we're done with the Axis. Now, this is where last time I clicked this, skip next voluntary elimination phase, I can't do that. Because I want to keep things going here. So I'm going to do the, everybody that's on the continent. That's that big long button, supply all, no convoy. This guy's actually going to go to limited supply. Why is he going there? I don't want to use the convoy, you stupid piece of junk. A piece of crap. Okay, so he's going to go to limited supply. And then the Norwegian goes to limited supply. Because I have to schedule my stuff here. He's going to go out of Benghazi. This guy's going to... We're going to have him removed. So we're going to just say no supply. Because we want that airplane removed. Italian Air Force is going to go away. So Tripoli. Why are we not allowed to use Damascus? really confused. This should be allowed to use Damascus. I conquered it. Okay, this is really weird. God damn it. It's not doing what I want it to do. Why doesn't it recognize Damascus as conquered? It's a conquered capital. I should be able to go out from there. That's really weird. Oh, because I can't get through because I didn't take Port Said. That's why. So we're going to let him... So he's going to go to... We're just going to say no supply because we're going to actually transport him to supply next turn. This guy, we will let him be supplied out of Benghazi. Right, because I want to save my sorties there. Okay. So that's what I have to do there. And then he gets... Keep that airplane supplied in the north. Alright, it's the Wes Action Phase. They don't have a lot. I had to use my tank. I probably should have saved my tanks and just let the BEF die. So I could have had a shot here, but it is poor weather down here, I think. So poor weather would have had me be -1 for the city, -1 for the river, -1 for the weather, which would be -3, plus another -1 because I'm +2 for British, -1, or -2 for garrison, +1 because I'm British. So it would have been a net -4. Even if I throw a tank in, I'm -3 to his -2. Not likely that I'm going to move him. I'm going to need to get like the Western Desert Force in here or something. So there's nothing really to do there. And to be perfectly honest, there's really nothing for the West to do at this point. There's absolutely nothing to do. Everything's in pretty good position. We just got to get our troops built on, and it's going to cost me all 10 to get all my stuff back on the board. So we're just going to pass. I'm going to leave open the possibility of eliminating things. So we'll do this first. Get rid of the... Okay, he gets supplied easy. And now he's going to draw a supply, and the Germans are not going to intercept because it doesn't really serve any purpose. I don't think. Just my personal opinion. That surface action marker, especially if I get some subs back, is far more important for the Germans. Plus, I might need it to get through the Russian surface action marker. So we do that, and we should be off to the Soviets. Soviets. Somebody was on, and somebody just left. Okay. Soviets. Okay, so count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Gotta leave one back for this nap. Those guys out. The airplane flies away. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 that way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 2 guys there. 1 guy here. 1 guy here. Can I get a guy there? 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8. No, I can't. But I'll be close enough. So that's these guys. These guys in the north will go 1, 2, 3, 5. Probably 1 in Brest. 5, 1 in Conus. 1 was to Riga, 1 was to there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So only 5 in the front. Okay. I don't really think there's much to do with the Russians here. We still want to deceive the Germans into thinking that we're going to defend forward until the very last minute. Because if we decide to do it, we want to be there. And if we decide against it, then we'll say, nah, never mind, we're leaving. Okay, and then we supply all, because everybody should be in supply. Da, 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 da. All right, so now we're at voluntary elimination phase. I didn't have to do this because when I said this thing goes to no supply, this Italian airplane, he just gets removed, so I'll be able to build him next turn. I could remove the 3rd Luft, but I think I want it. If I build back 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I can get up to like here. At the end of, what turn is it? I keep forgetting what turn it is. There's my mouse. Ba-bum. So it will be April that I will get there. Then I will be May. Beginning of May, I'll be at 4. Beginning of June. And if I do it, I would build them at April, I would be at 4. But at least I'll be in the right position. So yeah, we're going to leave that there. We're not going to remove anything. Okay? For the Axis. Now, I seriously thought about maybe I should just remove this because I can't get it around the corner. And then I thought about it and I said, it takes that port, I get a free move and I can actually put him in Gibraltar and then slowly but surely get his convoys points back. So I think I'm going to do that instead. I'm not going to remove him. I'm just going to leave him alone. Okay? So he's not going to do anything. And then the Soviets, I just put it up there so that we have the choice if anybody really wanted to see. It's important to not check that box sometimes. Now you have to be careful because this may pop up and you may think, oh, it's replacements. And you click on them and then you say, confirm or whatever, and all of a sudden all sorts of units disappear. So be careful on what you actually are doing when you actually see these boxes come up, okay? All right, now we are in improvement. The Italians have 11. So we definitely have to do the convoys, right? And this convoy. So I have 5 left. I'm going to do the fleet that's in Alexandria for right now. And then I'm going to flip over that infantry unit, because I can. The Germans are going to bring down their convoy. Bring down their airplanes. Maybe. And then I don't really want to pull in a diplomacy cup myself. I think I'm done with diplomacy with the Germans. Maybe I might pull it next turn because I won't have anything else better to do to see if I can get an area seized on Finland or whatever. But I'm really just not interested in messing around with it right now. So I'm just gonna make my armored unit full, and I will be done. So I won't have a diplomacy phase. The British definitely won't have a diplomacy phase. Now, they're not going to do any replacements here because they want to build all of their units. And they'll do replacements next turn. So that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. Okay. So confirm. So we're not going to do any replacements. When we go into mobilization, and this should be 10 points. So I'm going to put this... I'm a little worried about a late invasion somewhere. So I am going to put the first RAF there. But I do need to have something go reinforce the Middle East. So I'm going to put him in there. Med fleet's not going to be much use with 4 sorties, so I'm just going to put it here so it can get... Oh, only 1 unit can be put there. That's right. So we'll go put med fleet. Where do we put med fleet? Probably in... I think we'll put them in Belfast. And in this garrison, this is a real quandary. I have 1 garrison already in Kuwait, and then I'm going to add the Western Desert Force. So I can't really add any more units there. So I'm just going to go ahead and put him in Plymouth so that now he's got to kill me in a port or kill me in a port, and he can kill this, but he won't be in any ports. So if he comes, I'm pretty much prepared as best I can be with my few production points that I have. Okay. So that's that. And now the only one that can pull is the Soviets. And like I said, the Soviets already have their 5, so they're not interested. They don't really want to deal with Finland either. Germany's like, if I get it, great. If I don't, I don't care. So we're just going to let it go. We're not going to do anything. Diplomacy is pretty much dead at this point. And someone's online with me. Say hello, whoever you are. And now we are into the next turn. Where's my mouse? Lost my mouse again. So we've got severe down in the Mediterranean in the warm zone, and poor in the other 2, which we kind of expected. That's pretty much the norm. We're not going to start any more wars. We're done with starting new wars until we go after the Soviets. I think I still need to well, the Italians are going to move somebody, so that doesn't help them this turn. To be able to do... They're going to do 3, 6, 9, and 10. No, they're not going to be able to do much. I am going to give 1 to the Turks, just because I think I have a lot of them to move around. And other than that, we're done. So now we are in, I'm +6 to his +0. He's at 7 lost, and I'm at 1 lost. Notice he's only got 6 production points as the UK. Next turn, he'll go up to 8 because he'll get a Lend-Lease. So we commit. And now he's up to 8 lost factories. So he's got more lost factories than he actually has factories that he owns. And now I can do a strategic movement, and I was going to do... this is April. I want to get this down there before the British, and then in May I will send the other armored unit over to Romania. So I'm going to go ahead and put this infantry unit down here. maybe, as it thinks about its rail. Okay, that's that. The British don't really have anything at this point. Right. What am I doing? Just confirm. Didn't have anything to undo. Confirm. And then strategic movement for the Soviets. No, don't think so. Yeah, I don't see one. All right. So the German actions subphase, they really don't have a lot to do. Basically, it's going to be moving stuff around in the Middle East here. I'm going to get this guy headed up towards defense. I don't know if I need to go here or if I need to head this way. Try and get into, rail myself into Russia to help out. I'm not sure which is better. So, not really sure which way to go with that one. So I guess what I'll do is I'll undo him and I'll think about that. Maybe somebody will chime in and give me their ideas. This guy here is going to go, excuse me. And then this guy, British will put him in Gibraltar. I did take the hex, so I'm going to go ahead and move to there and stop. This Italian is going to go sit on Suez and stop. This airplane is going to fly here. And this airplane is going to fly here. So now Germans can do that. Italians can't because they can't fly over a friendly active neutral, which is Turkey, or a neutral country at all, which is Greece. And those things just basically block Italian air from being able to get up here. Something you need to remember as the Allies: do not let the Italians go flying over minor neutrals that are on the German side. I think I'm not going to use the. I don't need to use an insert. I should be able to get to there. I really don't have anywhere else I can go. And then I will go back to Alexandria. I'll at least have one sortie left. So I should be able to put all three of my Italians in supply this turn. Okay. All right. Was there anything else to do? I think all my German infantry is moved up to the point. Next turn we've got a rail this guy over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So sitting in Bremen, I can walk into Amsterdam, and if he sets up here, I can walk into Rotterdam. If he sets up in Rotterdam, I just run over and take Amsterdam. So Netherlands are mine to conquer whenever it happens. Kind of a flaky defense of Italy right now, but it's the best I can do. Okay, so I think we're done. The Axis is really not going to do anything. Oh, nope. I have to do my slow march. I forgot my slow march. 1, 2, 3, 4. Almost to Trondheim. Next turn I will get to Trondheim. Yay. I actually should get this guy in Stavanger. I think. Because that's where he can put a fleet. So I want to actually make him roll dice for this. He puts a fleet here, it doesn't affect my supply in C-Zone 12. Puts a fleet in Stavanger, it does. He goes and invades into Trondheim, where my garrison is. This guy can rail back to block the road. If he goes into Bergen, I can rail to block the road. And then, work on getting another German infantry or something up there to deal with whatever he's coming up with. So, and that might be very much what I do with the British, because I will have nothing else to do. It's like take Basra, take Norway. Those are your things to do. Yeah, it's, so we're going to get that guy into there. There's a possibility that I might have to move the airplane out for a bit if I need to go, if Finland comes in. If Finland doesn't come in, then we won't have that problem. But there is a chance that if Finland comes in, then this guy that's sitting in Königsberg, his job is to be transported up into Helsinki and then move forward to help the Finns work on Viborg and stuff like that. So, in order to help protect against Russian incursions from the north and all that kind of stuff. So if Finland comes in, then this guy's going to need to be transported, so I will have some transport issues in the Baltic. But other than that, this is just going to be sort of a straight up thing. I think I'm done. I don't really see anything else I need to do as the Germans. It's the Axis. Alright. I've got my garrisons there. I suppose while I have the points, I should do this. I should take this armored. I know I'm going to rail him next turn, but I just want to get him out of... I want to get him out of Cherbourg, so I don't have to spend a point next turn to... since I have the points here, now I still am going to have 20 points left. So I'm going to do that. I'd say it invites them to land here and attack to Cherbourg, and they end up with stuff, but it's like that's easily bottled up, and you can even end up attacking it into Cherbourg in isolation and just eliminating whatever's there. So the British are not coming across, as a general rule, with only one surprise attack marker. As soon as the Americans show up and you get that second one, now things can get a little dicey. If they use that surprise attack marker anywhere, it would be to like take back Basra to try and help the Russians. So that's where we're at. Okay. Don't think I'm going to do any voluntary eliminations. I'm going to leave it open just in case I see one later. So supply everything on the continent. Should just leave me some. Yes, these guys go. Who's the guy in the fort? Leave the guy in the fort in low supply. And we don't need to supply the garrison or the Nor. Right? Actually, why don't we go ahead and supply the Nor, because I've still got points to spend. Like I said, I've got 20 points. I don't know what to do with the Germans. So I think that works out right. Okay. Now, British only have 6. It's going to cost 2 to flip this guy up. So, what I'm thinking of doing. So, when I only have 6, if I move him, I can't really do much else other than flip him up. If I flip him up here, that'd be 2. And then I could make this convoy here become a 2. This guy would become a 4. So that would be my 5 of my points. And then next turn, I move this one out, like to the Arabian Sea or Indian Ocean, whatever. This guy would be at 2. He picks this up and drops him into Kuwait. Then he would have 3 sorties left to supply with 2 units. So it would just constantly be awash until he brings down aircraft to deal with me. I do have the BEF to build, so it's going to have to wait a turn because I really want to set this up to get the Western Desert Force into Kuwait as soon as possible. So, yeah, we're done here. And now I have to make a decision with the Soviets. Actually, I have to go do my silly supply with Force Age. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it's applied. Okay. So right now I don't have anybody in Gibraltar. So I probably need to do something about that. We're going to go ahead and supply that one. Now I have to, this is a big decision on the Russian part. Do I think he's going to get fair weather in May? If he gets fair weather in May, he's going to be short 2 armored. Because this armored unit can only get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So he can get in a couple of attacks. The other armored is still in France. It's going to want to rail over here. And if he declares war on me, it's got to rail behind the lines, so it can't really do anything this in May. This airplane is in a city. This airplane is in a city. So I'm just trying to figure out if I want to stay and fight here. I think I'm going to chance it for May. Okay. The reason being, I got to do something about this guy though. He's not in a good place. going to open too much of a door. So I think he's just going to run through here. If I put him in Lvov, he gets... I guess I have to stay there. I mean, he can push through it, and then he'll surround Cernate, and he can just roll up this whole line if he gets fair weather. If he gets fair weather, he can roll up the whole Russian line. I mean, there's nothing I can do about that. That's just the way it is. Down here, worried a bit about these Turks. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So they could attack at +1. If I go here, I could move here and get me in all sorts of trouble. So I think I'm going to stay right where I'm at and hope for the best. I'm going to hope for poor weather in the east. That'll give me one more turn before I have to decide whether I'm going to retreat. If they get a fair weather in May, pretty much the Russian army is going to go poof. The airplanes will be flying 10 back after he takes those cities, and he's just going to poof a whole lot of these armies. There's nothing you can do about it. But I'm going to take the chance. It's a 1/3 chance that it's fair. Otherwise, it's poor. Might still try to attack me in poor, but poor weather is 1 attack apiece, so I have a chance to retreat in order. So that's what we're going to do. Might be the wrong thing to do, but I'm going to do it anyway. Confirm. And we got to supply all, because we're all in supply, because we're a land power. Voluntary elimination, I am not going to eliminate anything. I'm not going to eliminate anything for the British or the Soviets. Alright, replacements for the Axis. They've got 20 points. Alright, the Italians, they got to save 3 to build their airplanes, so they're going to do 2 sorties there, and 2 sorties in the convoy. At least 5. They have to spend 3 to do their airplanes, so that's what they'll do. Germans are going to get their aircraft, their convoy back to full, and get this aircraft started. Well, if May doesn't come through, then that aircraft will start with 2 sorties on it. And I'll have an Italian aircraft that I can possibly get in here in the middle of the summer to help me with Russian aircraft. Okay. All right. Now, what I said I was going to do is I was going to make this one go down. Unfortunately, it doesn't pop to the boxes. Only pops to hexes. So you have to go to the box yourself to see which one it is. And this is the 4th convoy. So that's the other one I want to bring him down to 2. Now, the reason why I'm doing that is next turn, this convoy will move out for the British, go to 5 sorties. This one will move in, have 3 sorties, land at Kuwait, and be able to supply both units. At some point, I will be sacrificing this unit in a ridiculously low odds attack to die, so that this unit can actually get up here and maybe make an attack. Unfortunately, next turn, the Germans are going to swap positions with the Iraqis, and then it becomes much, much harder to take out German infantry surrounded in a city or with a river. So you're -2 going in. So I might have to bring an aircraft down here to have a chance to get through that. Okay. And that's it. I only have 1 point left, so I'm done. Nobody has anything left. The Axis can mobilize. They have... I need to go over to Italy. We're going to build the airplane in Trieste. And the Trieste airplane works. Maybe. Okay. I don't have the points to build that, so I just have to say confirm. The Germans could pull. I said I was going to go ahead and pull because this is like the last turn. If I get an area seized and Karelia comes in, then I'll deal with Finland. If I get a political failure, what? I lose Netherlands? or he gets a pro marker in French North Africa. That could be a problem, but I'll deal with it because he doesn't have any pro markers to do anything with. So we're going to go ahead and pull and see what's there. Pull to political failure. So the British can place a pro marker in French North Africa, Greece, Vichy, or they could remove the Netherlands. And I think, since I don't have a pro marker anyway, I think I want to be in a position when, if Russia should fall, I'd kind of like to have French North Africa join me right away. If it, well, it's only going to join on a 1 or a 2. Greece would join me right away, and Greece gives me a really nice base at Crete for a few turns until he moves in aircraft and everything else. So I think we're going to go ahead and just put a pro marker in Greece because it really doesn't matter. And in the Soviets, since that political failure is gone, do they want the area seized? Be nice to have the 30 points. But I think what they're looking at is if they get knocked out, we need to try and mess up the German plans. So we're going to put the political failure back in the cup. And now we go check the weather. It is poor in the cold zone. Cool. A little bit over an hour. It being poor in the cold zone, I think I can go ahead and stop this here. It's going to be a little bit of a short. We're going to kind of cut it short today. Yeah, leave me comments on what you think I should do with the Germans. Should I go ahead and declare on the Soviets and go after them in poor? Even though I can't get this armor is going to be behind, and there's an armor in France that hasn't gotten over here yet. My inclination is to bring that armored over here, move this armored up to here, and then wait for June. And if June is poor, I still go, but I have a better chance, 2/3 chance of getting fair in June. And then just swapping this out. This guy starts marching towards Suez to try and help against possible invasion situations, and so on. So that's it's also poor down here. So again, I'm -1, 2, 3, 4. So this guy can't, even against a -2, he doesn't really stand a chance. He would be -3. He'd need a 6. So I'm going to need to get an airplane down there, I think. But right now I'm more worried about, shenanigans up here with the fair weather. Will the Germans just go ahead and try and, do a surprise attack anyway and blow me up here? As long as I have these airplanes and this fleet here and 3 ground units, I don't think he'll even think about it. But if he starts looking like he's going to be taking down Russia, then I need to seriously think about getting a ground unit into Gibraltar, because that's the standard thing. If you conquer Russia, collapse Russia, put a pro marker in Spain and try and pull it right away so that you can get a shot at Gibraltar before they can have proper units there. So I probably will have the BEF sitting on a convoy in Belfast or something so that I can get it into Gibraltar quickly. That'll be the plan for the British. So we're going to leave it there. It'll be May 1941. Poor in the cold zone, poor in the warm zone, fair in the mild zone. And the question is should the Germans bother to go ahead and start Barbarossa now in poor weather? Or should they wait until they can get both their armored units and get some more sorties on this, and maybe even get an Italian aircraft somewhere in here with a couple extra sorties? Yeah, that's where we're going to leave it. So, sorry nobody could join me this morning. But that's where we're going to leave this as an extra I am also going to save this game at this point. USC 28, declare war on this date. Okay. All right. So there we go. That's where we're going to leave off. We'll have to, like I said, leave me comments on what you guys think we should do. I saved the game just in case. I don't know how long it lets me keep a solo training game open, since I'm going to be slowing down on possible streams. I want to make sure that I have a saved game that I can load and try and stream out again. You pretty much have seen the first half of the Cuckoo strategy. We have crippled the UK. Not as nicely as I would like, because they do have a foothold over in Kuwait. I'm hoping I'll be able to do something about that in the not too distant future. But then again, maybe not. What else? Yeah, and the second part is to collapse the USSR, which is why I stopped where I'm at, because I could start Barbarossa in May of 41 in poor weather, but I'm basically 2 armored units down and 2 sorties down on an aircraft, and I think I want to wait till June. At least if those units are over there, even if I have to go in a poor weather June, I should be able to make some headway. And then that will leave the Russians having to decide 2/3 chance for fair. Do you stay and fight at the front, or do you try to, withdraw most of your army, maybe leave a couple sacrificial units just to slow them down, like, in Brest and Kaunas and in, what's the name of the city in Romania? Kishinev. So if you just leave like 3 armies there and the rest of them all run to the Duna and the Dnieper, then most of his movement, especially for his infantry, it's like his armor might be able to get there and attack across the rivers, but his infantry won't be. So that would be, a fair weather turn of June where he just walks and doesn't really do anything, kills maybe 3 units. You get 5 more guys, and then you can seriously think about whether you want to fight 1 turn on the Dnieper and the Duna, or if you just want to keep retreating, to the next line for July, the next line for August. At some point, you're going to end up in probably around September. If you keep retreating, you're going to be along the Voronezh, Rostov, Tula, that line here. And wise German will hang on to their surprise attack marker until they're along that line, and then wherever you have a concentration of troops, they'll drop it and just try and kill a bunch and make a big hole before the Russian winter sets in. So you kind of got to gauge where you defend. I've seen people defend on the frontier. That might work if you fall back. If the rest of your army builds are all back on that line, so it takes them 3 turns to get to you, or 2 turns at least to get to you. It's really a matter of how many fair weather turns that the person gets. Okay. All right. Let's see. Let's get down to where we should be to end this session. Scroll this up. There we go. So, I'm Dren608. I do streams and videos of Hex Encounter war games. I also am starting to do a stream on The Bard's Tale, which is an old computer RPG role-playing game. I played it back in the 90s when it first came out, and they've got a remastered version out on Steam, so I'm doing that as well. I'll be doing that tomorrow morning on Sunday. This game was supposed to be sort of a demo of how things go and sort of the thought processes behind some of the decisions I made. Some of them were probably fairly bad decisions. I don't know. Maybe I should have been far more aggressive with the British doing an invasion and using up my surprise attack marker when I had the chance to take something like Tripoli or Tobruk, and maybe that would have held out in the Middle East longer. I don't know. I tend to think of this as a very long game. And if I can manage to stay afloat with those Soviets, which is no trick in and of itself, if you can stay afloat with the Soviets until that January 43 turn, the British will have enough in late 42 to definitely take back Basra. They'll have free forces, they'll have ultra, they'll have a partisan and an airdrop in 43. One of the things you can do is you put the partisan in Kuwait. You land in Kuwait with like a +5 to whatever he has there. Land in Kuwait, then bring in an aircraft, and then actually invade in Basra as well. It uses up 2 surprise attack markers, but you'll have the Americans around by then, so it won't hurt so bad. And then once you take those things out, and you've got that +2 not working in the German favor. Now they're only +4 against you, and you can slowly but surely work your way back in 43 instead of going, North Africa and Italy like we're used to in history. You're basically going to be taking back the Middle East to screw up the German strategic warfare. And then, if possible, you might even in late 43 pull off an invasion in Norway to try and screw up their supply and things up there. And then, if you've taken away his pluses, if he's down to +2, and because the U.S. is in the war, you're +2. Now, any bond markers you make gives you the advantage. So the biggest thing is to make sure. The problem is can you keep the Russians in the war? And it's very hard to do. I managed to do it one time because my opponent missed that he had a couple of minor allies guarding some railroads or whatever, and he didn't realize that if I broke through those guys that I would cut off like roughly half his army. And it wasn't like I would cut them off and they would have to turn around and come back and fight me. I would cut them off and they were like 6 movement points away. So they couldn't actually get back and attack me by the time I got done with my move. And that caused him to have a mass scramble trying to get units back and trying to do that. I was doing that on I think I had 10 will points when I started my offensive, and I got myself up to like 24 or whatever, and then he took me down to under 20, and then I captured a few more cities, and then finally I had him, I don't know, about 7 or 8 units were out of supply, so he just removed them and went to no supply. He just removed them and had them rebuilt in Germany, and by the time I got to the Russian border, he was there and waiting for me. So, and we fought it out till late 44. I got some really good die rolls with the Russians, and he decided it was time to just go ahead and concede because he wasn't gonna stop me. I was already breaching into Germany at the end of 44. Anyway, enough of me babbling. Like I said, I do streams of Hex and Counter Wargames. I also do videos on Hex and Counter Wargames, sometimes tutorials, sometimes sessions using the Vassal module for this game. I also do it for Vassal module for other games. You can look me up on Board Game Geek, Gen 608. You can look at my library of games, and if you see a game that you would like me to do some streaming or some videos on, let me know in the comments here. I do look at all the comments on all my videos sooner or later, but let me know if there's something that you think you would like, that the audience out here would like to see other than what I've been doing. I'm open to trying to let you guys see what you want to see. Okay? Okay, so commercial break again. I'm Gen 608. If you like what you see, hit the thumbs up button. It helps the algorithms in YouTube when they're searching for videos on unconditional surrender. If you really like what you're seeing, go ahead and subscribe. Hit the notify button. Then you'll know when I'm scheduling a new stream and or uploading videos. And I think that's about it. Until we meet again, stay safe and bye-bye.